The country has been in a state of turmoil for a few years. Exceptional people from all over the world are encouraged to arrest criminals in exchange for reward money. And one of them happens to be Blind Chang, who trades his life for money and is famous as a ghost killer. One day, Blind Chang is in the gambling house constantly winning bets. The house is run by Feng, a cunning and ruthless owner of the joint. He could not let this blind man walk away with all the winning money, so they follow him. But Blind Chang is no ordinary person, as he possesses extraordinary skills. Even though they attack him together, he defeats all of them in no time. As they lie down in defeat, Blind Chang asks Feng about the whereabouts of Ni Yan. Defiant is a movie about a blind swordsman with extraordinary battle skills. When he meets Ni Yan, an innocent girl who has been humiliated and her life destroyed, he vows not to intervene. But as he becomes involved in a dark dispute, Chang is forced to embark on a bloody path to seek revenge and justice. Let's see how the story unfolds. A month ago, Blind Chang met a 19-year-old winemaker named Ni Yan in Liangchang. Chang is allured by the sweet smell of wine drifting from the wine jars and asks her to sell some of her wine to him. She refuses by saying that the wine is specially prepared for her guests at her wedding. But Ni Yan tells him that he can have some free wine later if he stays for her wedding party. Just when she's about to take his horse to a stable, a sack falls off the horse's back. Ni Yan is startled to find a live body in it. Showing her the criminal wanted poster, Chang tells her that the person is an arsonist and that he's captured him for the reward money. Later that day, Wu Long, the groom, is heartily welcomed by the people. During the ceremony, Ni Yan's brother, Ni Jun, arrives at the scene. She introduces him to Wu Long, but with a scary demeanor, Ni Jun threatens Wu Long and the guests, saying he would kill Wu Long if anyone dares to bully his sister. As a result of this commotion, the guests excuse themselves from the party, and the only one remaining is Blind Chang. For some reason, he does not seem to be intimidated by Ni Jun's words. Nevertheless, Chang walks away with a jar of wine towards the stable, where he spends the night. In the dead of night, Chang wakes up and walks towards Ni Yan's house with his cane. He locates a few wine jars lying on the ground, and besides that, he also finds some dead bodies. So he cautiously walks into the house, only to find a scruffy Ni Yan lying on top of the table. Ni Yan then explains to him the events that happened after Chang left. She says that earlier that evening, Ying, Feng, and some other people have come to hunt down Ni Jun. Turns out Ni Jun was in charge of an important mission of taking out pearls from the coffin for Ying. But the ruthless Ying killed all of his fellow laborers after the work was done. So to save his life, Ni Jun ran away. Not only did they kill Ni Jun and Wu Long, Ying even dragged Ni Yan inside the house and physically assaulted her. When Chang is on his way the next day, Officer Gao and some other officers notice the sack on the back of his horse. They follow him and question him about the person in his sack. Chang introduces himself as the ghost killer of Dali Temple and explains that the captured man is a felon wanted by the government. Right after that, he picks up another criminal who has been hiding within the group of officers by disguising himself as one. Chang gets his reward, and before he leaves, he asks Officer Gao if he's the one in charge of the Ni family murder case. Officer Gao goes to investigate the scene of Ni Yan's house the next day. He learns that the Yuan family is behind the murder, but since Yuan is a powerful family in the country, he dares not provoke them. Instead, Gao advises Ni Yan not to stretch out the matter and just let it go. But despite his persuasion, Ni Yan is determined to get justice anyhow. To de-escalate the situation, Gao decides to destroy her completely. He frames Ni Yan for killing her husband and her brother and then arrests her. As they take her back through the market, Chang blocks their way. Normally, he does not want to meddle in anybody's affairs, but seeing the poor girl suffer at the hands of power and injustice, he couldn't help himself but intervene. Chang cannot allow them to take her away, so he rescues Ni Yan and tells her to leave. At first, Ni Yan asks him to kill the assaulters, but Chang refuses her idea. Then, she asks him to let her tag along to Luoyang to seek justice, and finally, he agrees to take her with him. On their way, Ni Yan shows the reed pipe and tells Chang how it reminds her of her dead family. But now that the pipe is also broken, she feels devastated. Chang asks her to hand him the pipe and keeps it with him. The two arrive at Luoyang a few days later and are having a bowl of noodles. When they decide to part ways, Chang gives her some instructions on how she can get some help with his men. Ni Yan also gives him a bottle of wine as a token of gratitude. Later, Chang visits Neo, his partner in crime, who arranges the work for him and delivers his payment. Chang has been working hard to gather money for his eye treatment, and he has already collected more than 9,000 gold taels. A few days later, just when Chang is about to leave for his last mission, a man with a wounded hand comes to Neo. He profusely curses the girl who's inflicted his injury and tells Neo what happened earlier that day. Ying and General Guo's daughter were getting married, so Jiang, Ying's older brother, sent wedding gifts to the Guo family. Just then, a crazy girl shows up out of nowhere and starts causing a scene. Ying wanted to take care of the matter right away, but as General Guo doesn't want to spoil the occasion, Ying orders Feng to take the girl away, and in the process, the girl injured his hands. Listening to this, Chang is sure that the girl must be Ni Yan, and now, knowing that she is in trouble, Chang is unable to leave for his last mission. Neo tries her best to convince him not to offend the Yuan family, as nothing good comes out of it, but he completely ignores her words and begins his search for Ni Yan. Back in the present, a month after the incident with Ni Yan, Chang is fighting with Feng's men. After tormenting him for some time, Feng finally spills out Ni Yan's whereabouts. He immediately rushes to the given address. The place is unusually quiet, but the smell of blood is still fresh. There, the same person who killed Ni Jun attacks him, but the man is no match for Chang, and eventually, he gets his head served. Later on, Chang finds Ni Yan held in a cage with a lock pierced through her hands. Since Ni Yan needs medical attention, he takes her to Neo's place for treatment. Realizing that he might put Neo in trouble, Chang tells her to leave the city with Ni Yan and forget about him. But she refuses to leave his side, and instead, she tells him that Ni Yan is not worth his endeavor. Chang feels bad for Ni Yan, since she had to go through difficult times at such a young age. Even though they've seen many unfair things in their life, Chang wants to give her the life she deserves and fight against the unjust. Eventually, he convinces Neo to leave the city. Before sending them away, he hands over Ni Yan to Neo's care and tells her that he will avenge the death of Ni Yan's family. Then, Chang goes back to Neo's place where Feng is being held and asks him why he killed Ni Jun. Feng tells him that Yuan Ying desired to give his fiancée a luminous pearl that was only found inside the tomb of the Han dynasty, and to keep it a secret, Ying had to kill everyone who knew about this. When Chang asks him about the whereabouts of General Guo, Feng reveals that Ji Yong has arranged a tavern for General Guo's stay and offers to take him there. Unfortunately for him, Chang has no intention to let him live. Therefore, he makes an arrangement in such a way that when the door is pried open, the metal wire cuts right through his neck. On the other hand, after learning about Feng's situation, Yuan Ying arrives at the place and opens the door, which kills Feng immediately. Furious with this, Ying considers this to be a declaration of war against his family and instructs his people to search for Chang and Neo. Somewhere in the woods, after Ni Yan regains her health, Neo decides to return back to Chang. When Ni Yan asks her why Chang is helping her, Neo tells her that he simply does not want her to end up like him. Unfortunately, on her way back, Yuan Ying captures her and tortures her to get information about Blind Chang. But she does not hesitate and reveals that Blind Chang is actually Chang Yi from the Dongshan Wolf Battalion, who bravely fought on the battlefield. In the meantime, Chang goes to the tavern to meet General Guo, but on the way, he faces off with a group of disciples before he gets to meet the general. After meeting him, Chang exposes the truth about Yuan Ying and tells Guo that he's going to kill his future son-in-law. The general calls off the engagement the next day as he cannot risk anything when it comes to Chang. Not able to withstand the humiliation, Jiang drags his brother Ying and pushes him. However, Ying is also at his limit, so he kills his own older brother and proclaims himself to be the head of the family. He even declares to reward those who will kill the enemy of his family. During that time, Neo's dead body is displayed across the town, which is penetrated by 13 arrows. After Chang knows about such a humiliating send-off of his partner, he prepares himself to face Yuan Ying head-on. He then goes to the mourning place in search of Yuan Ying. Before he could fight with Ying, he has to pass through a number of people. Even after that, the hurdle continues as Ying and his most faithful subordinate attack him tactically. With swift movements, Ying shoots arrows at Chang. Just when Ying let his guard down and appears a little close, he's caught by Chang, who cuts off his foot. In the end, to avenge his dear friend Neo, Chang does not hesitate to stab Yuan Ying in his chest. Just then, his faithful horse is there to pick him up as he's getting late to watch another video like this from Relaxed Recaps.